I don't know about you guys, but I get the feeling that many men today are burnt out with self improvement and that we're seeing a fundamental shift in the men's self improvement space, the manosphere, whatever you want to call it. About 3 to 4 years ago, it was peaking. You had the likes of Hamza and Jack Hopkins coming up, and there was a generation of young men who dedicated their lives to self improvement, whether that be them implementing these things themselves, so going to the gym more, cutting down on porn, working on businesses, or the many guys who started building personal brands. They started trying to replicate what people like Jack and Hamza were doing by posting these candid videos like this, particularly in their bedroom. Now, it could just be that my algorithm has stopped showing me this stuff because I'm not paying so much attention to that kind of self improvement content anymore. Realistically, because I don't need it. It was kind of like a first step that I needed 3 to 4 years ago when I was working in a corporate job in London and my lifestyle sucked. I was trying to escape the pain that I was experiencing internally and the resentment that I had for that 9 to 5 corporate lifestyle in London, realizing that the life that I'd been encouraged to take by the education system and British society was a complete con and a total waste of the actual potential that I and so many others had. And I was drinking a lot. I was playing in the snow a lot. My lifestyle just sucked. And I needed somebody online like Hamza or Jack Hopkins to essentially say firmly, get your shit together and start doing this stuff. But then once that started, you level up and you don't really need that advice anymore. And it moved into this focus on making money online, which has been the key area of focus for me over the last few years. When I left London and I moved to Thailand and I moved to Bali, and I sensed that a lot of guys went down this similar path, and now they're at a point where they don't know really what it is that they're actually looking for and what they're trying to achieve. There's still some kind of emptiness that they're feeling, a lack of purpose. And I'm not going to lie, I actually think you can see this with some of these creators as well, particularly with people like Jack Hopkins. And that's not to throw any shade at him at all. I have a lot of respect for what he's doing. But if you watch his content right now, it almost seems like he's a bit lost in what he's doing because he's achieved so much financially and had the women, got the body, done the fighting, all of this stuff. And then down the line from that, you've got everybody else who hasn't actually done that. They haven't achieved this kind of financial freedom and the status. And perhaps they can see that this whole space is almost a bit of a pyramid, is the only way that I can describe it. It's not like a pyramid scheme where money is extracted from people at the bottom and goes to the top. But if you look at a lot of these spaces online, especially like in the business coaching industry, right, you've got these people who just regurgitate the same coaching methods from people at the top over and over, but the money gets less and less the further you go down, and people start to get disillusioned with that. And simultaneously, the market, in terms of what people are seeing around men's self-improvement, is now highly commercialized, and I guess everybody's trying to sell something, and I'm no stranger to this. I've got to fucking eat at the end of the day, and my fundamental driver is I don't want to have to live in the UK. I want to make money online, right? And I wanted to do that by helping men in some form or another. But if I look at the content that we're seeing in the men's space now, it is all heavily focused around selling products and services. And I don't know if people are feeling fed up with that. They're feeling burnt out with it. And there's one thing that I would actually recommend over this that I think is probably the best solution, right? You know by now at this point that you need to stop drinking so much, that you need to work out consistently, that you should be doing intense exercise, you should be learning to fight, you should be speaking to women, you should be focusing on your mental, financial, spiritual growth, all of this stuff. However, there are so many guys still today who are fundamentally addicted to content. They're fundamentally addicted to the content around business, the content around fitness, and they live in this state of the dopamine addiction that comes from that. And it's particularly unhealthy with short form content. This is part of the reason that I've recently stopped posting so much on Instagram, because I realized I just feel like shit every time I go on that app. The clients that I get from Instagram aren't particularly good either a lot of the time, in my experience. They're normally, well, what you'd expect, people that are just hooked on these quick dopamine fixes. So naturally, they have this idea now that in business and personal branding, that everything is immediate gratification based and you're going to see these quick wins because this is what you're literally consuming through the social media. But at the same time, whenever I go on there, I don't feel inspired or motivated. And when you delete apps like Instagram or TikTok, I've said this time and time over again, right? I built an audience of 120K on TikTok. I had millions, tens of millions of views on that app. It is a fucking cesspit. If you are a fully grown man and you are on TikTok, get the fuck off that app and sort your life out. There is no reason that you should be on that app unless you're doing something like TikTok Shop, where your store relies on it. It is total brain rot. It is a waste of your time. It is not serving you any purpose. And I genuinely don't think that Instagram is that far off it for a lot of people. It's got a great user interface for business and for DMs. And this is one of the frustrating things with it, is that it's tied in that way. And so many people use it as their means of communication. Fuck, when you hit on women out here in Bali, what do? You ask for their Insta or they ask for yours. Like, it's almost like an all-encompassing app. There's no escape from it. But when you do delete it and you go for a shit and then you realize that it's literally your instinct now to pick up your phone and start looking at Insta, whether it be DMs or doom scrolling, you know it's a problem. It's a genuine addiction. So I can't recommend this enough. Stop the social media consumption. And it can rebrand itself on YouTube as well. The same thing, you might start coming on YouTube and doom scrolling through the feed here, just looking for videos. Maybe you're getting caught up in the shorts. Living in the real world is so much better for you. The more time you spend in nature, like I've just been here for the last 20 minutes, just looking at the cows in this field and the farmer working, and the cows are fighting. I grew up in Devon, it's full of cows, so it kind of reminds me a bit of what it was like growing up. I was obviously beefing the cows all the time too, you know, scrapping with them, right? But these little things, exercise, going out, doing things, fighting, dating, whatever it may be, actually doing things off screen, you feel so much better for it. It's such simple advice. And I think so many guys today would actually benefit from that. They would just benefit from simplifying stuff, because there's so much overstimulation that comes from what we see on social media. And I know that I'm contributing to it now as well in this video, right? I put my hands up and admit that I'm partly involved in that. And again, like I said, this is how my business operates, so I have to do it. But simultaneously, I do want to share my perspectives with people and help people to inspire men to develop themselves. And I'm sure many of you watching this feel the same way. You want to help your brothers around you and you want to help yourself, right? But I can't recommend it enough. Cut down on the overconsumption. With videos like this, there's enough of them. Just put them on in the background and maybe listen to it. Tell yourself that you're only going to watch 2 or 3 of them a day, or listen to 2 or 3 of them a day, and just try to be as present as you can in the real world. We're going to see a shift towards this now as AI advances, as digitalization advances. There is going to be more and more of a push for people to have real life interaction and community, because we're a pack animal and we need that. And you can start by grounding yourself in nature, in the real world, speaking to real people. But yeah, I hope you found this video insightful. It gives you some food for thought. Literally just a spiel that I wanted to get off my chest. Oh, and by the way, I've left it to the end, but look, I'm looking to build out a new coaching program at the moment, and I'd like to know what you want help with. If you want to book in a call with me below, that's literally just going to be an intro call. If I do feel that I can help you with anything, sure, we can maybe look at putting a program together for you. But I genuinely just want to know what it is that you guys are focusing on right now, what you're struggling with, and see whether I can help you with that. A lot of you, you've been here long enough, you've seen my channel, you know the things I do. If you're not here, if you are here for the first time, I built a personal brand to over 140,000 across 3 platforms. I've set up multiple online businesses. I went through a transformation from severely depressed to living out here in Bali and Thailand and getting my shit together. All of these things. I can talk to you more about that on the call. But yeah, feel free to do that. And if not, I'll see you in the next video.